Right. Can you tell us a little bit more about, I mean, when you were in that bathroom, how did you connect it with God?
So I connected
Can
with.
you give me a minute just to say it in Spanish?
Okay,
The
okay.
question, ¿sí? Thank you. La pregunta que le hago a Immaculèe es que nos hable un poco más de cuando ella estaba encerrada en el baño con otras 7 mujeres, mientras los asesinos estaban afuera. Que nos platique un poco de cómo ella logró conectarse con Dios desde esa situación.
Okay, you wanted to ask again, if you don't mind?
Yes, of course, of course. So how were you able to connect with God inside that bathroom?
So the first thing that helped me to connect with God first was, it was because my father gave me the rosary. But I still remember the first time I really connected fully. In the first few days, I was angry, but also confused about how can I be here? 3 days before that, I was a student in college. 3 days before that, I had my room in my parents' house. It was so hard to see the whole life changing and everything is upside down. So I wasn't communicating with God like, oh, I love you so much. It was more like, how can this be? Where are you? This is too hard. How can, I was complaining. I wasn't talking to God like prayer. However, one time, the people who were killing us, the government have given order to start searching everywhere in the whole country to search for people of my tribe. So one time they came to the house where I was hiding. And I remember I was stretching and I saw them through the window of the bathroom. They were outside, about 300 to 400 people. They were dressed in banana leaves. They had all kind of arms, machetes, guns, and they started to search everywhere in the house. So in that moment, I mean, this house was 4-bedroom house. So it was a small house. It wasn't somewhere in a building you can hide, but I cannot even put in words the fear, the anger I felt just knowing that they were there, especially the fear. And I remember pain in my body, and I never thought it was possible. It was like 1,000 needles was going through my body. I was dying. And I felt like I had 2 voices over my shoulders. And one voice was telling me something I thought was reasonable: open the door, end the torture. Why wait? So in that moment, I really felt they're going to find me anyway. Why wait for this torture? But another voice was telling me, ask God to help you. But at this moment, I wasn't at peace with God. I wasn't kind to God, really. I was more like, how can this happen to us? But the good father, my dad, have given me the rosary. So that's really something I held on as his gift, but also as a tool of prayer, even if I couldn't pray because I was anxious. And I remember another voice, nicer, something in me say, ask God to help you. And I had to choose now which voice to listen to. The one that said, ask God, or the one that says, open the door, let them kill you. And that felt like reasonable because they were already there and there were too many. And it was a small house. I couldn't think how they wouldn't find us. So, and I remember in a split of a second, I had to choose what voice to listen to. And I remember asking God, with every cell of my body, if there is anyone who created me, if there is anyone who made all this, the one I hear in the Bible, I heard in my faith, in my Catholic faith, that said, if there is anything is possible, ask, it shall be given. Even mountains can move if only you believe. So God, if he's that way, Now that, because I wasn't sure if God is there anymore, if he's that way, it means that he can actually do this. And I remember asking him, if you can hear me and you are truly there, don't let the killers open the door of the bathroom today. If they don't, I will know it is you who did it. And this time, I wasn't saying, oh, I shouldn't die, because people were dying, were innocent. People were dying, were good people. So many kids were dying. So it wasn't like, oh, I just want to leave because I asked God. I have lost my faith in that moment, but I was about to gain it back too. And I remember asking that to God. And after that, something happened. I fainted. I didn't hear anything until about 5 hours later, the man who was hiding us, he came and opened the door. And I thought they have found us. And he told us what happened. He told us they came inside the house, they searched everywhere in the house, under the beds, in the closets. They went on the roof of the house. They even opened suitcases. And they didn't find anyone. Suitcases to see there were babies. And when they didn't find anyone, they came to the door of the bathroom. The man, he told us, he was waiting for them to find us because he's right there at the door. And he said he was sweating, he was shaking. And by the grace of God, this man turned around. After he touched the handle, he turned around and he told the man who was hiding us, like, you know what? We trust you. You are a good man. You can't hide these people. And he turned around and he left. When he left, that was the time I said, God is real for sure. In my life, I don't care what happened. I don't care how bad things can be. I will hold on to him. All I wanted was, I need to know now that God, first I wanted to know that God is real. Second, I needed now to know who is God. All my life I prayed. My family always prayed before we went to sleep. As I shared earlier, but why did I almost lose my faith? Because I didn't have it strong enough. I loved to make my parents happy. And that's another thing I really wish to tell people. Please make your faith your own. It's good to pray with parents, but listen to what they tell you in prayer. God is a father of everybody, meaning each one of us, we have a relationship with him. And we need to remember that, to remind ourselves that. Parents, anyone can go anytime, like my own, but God is there with you. So to really make that connection, I remember after that, now I found God was there. I remember when I say the rosary, I would say, Apostle Creed, I believe in God, Father Almighty. And then I say, what? I said that? I never knew that. And I prayed the rosary all my life. I believe in God, Father Almighty. I didn't believe. That's why I was shaking right there. Now I was listening to every word. I'm like, I believe in God. I never thought about that. I believe in God, Father Almighty. So I really wish you, and again, anyone listening and anyone who will, to be sincere to God. That was the time when I saw the sign that God actually can hear me in my heart, and he stopped people to the door of the bathroom, and I realized that he can hear my prayer inside. That's when I started to speak to God. That was a new day. That was a new conversion. I knew when I'm sleeping, he's watching me. I knew when I'm walking, he's watching me. And I thought, now that I believe in heaven, even if I was alone, even if my parents, suppose they didn't make it, which they didn't, obviously, even if they don't make it, for sure, I will be okay because I have God. And that was everything. So that was my connection with God. And I wish that for everybody, to just ask yourself, do I believe in God? Who do I believe he is for me? He's a father to everybody just like that? No, individually, have a relationship with you. And that means everything to this day.
Right. So yeah, it's okay to ask for signals, right? Like, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's good to ask for sign, not to try God, but to ask him. I want to know God is a father. The same way we feel about our children when they ask questions, that's how God is. If a child is questioning to just disrespect the father, it feels different. But when a child is like, Mom, how do you put on the stove? Mom, where this light comes from? Mom, I can remember my kids. Mom, why is this? Who created God? Mom, I love that. Now they're becoming mature. They don't ask many questions anymore. But it's beautiful when somebody can ask coming from a loving heart, coming from a place of respect.
Right.
Yeah.
So Immaculée, also your book of Kibeo, which I find a treasure, having Our Lady's words there whenever you want to, read her own words are there. I would love you to talk to us a little bit about that experience and the message of the Virgin of Kibeo.
Oh, thank you for asking that. That is my favorite.
Yes,
Yes,
mine too.
I am always reading stuff about Our Lady of Kibeho, about messages. It's just I never get enough. And this is one of the visionary I'm reading about these days. Yeah, just like having operations, looking at Our Lady. Yeah. So I love it, and this is my favorite subject, because even through the visionary, not that I'm not the one who had apparitions, but to see the love they had for each other was just like, wow, she's really a mother. Anyway, just in a few words, Mary appeared in 1981 in Rwanda in a place called Kibeho, and it was about 3 hours away from home, from where I lived. And she appeared. I remember before she appeared, I was playing with my friends. We used to play like we want to have apparitions, without knowing that Our Lady was actually going to come. And but we thought we were going to have apparition. We played like kids in Fatima. We became shepherds. We said the rosary every evening when we heard the story. I'm like, okay, let's have apparitions. With that game going on, if it is a game, I don't even know. Our Lady appeared in Kibeho. I still remember my father came and he told us that Mary's appearing in a high school. And I remember crying, like, no, she's supposed to come home to us. Why in Kibeho, And I was crying. My father, he asked me what happened. I told him, and we have been trying to call her to come. But anyway, in God's infinite wisdom, as they say, he knew he put a tag on my heart, From there, my heart was ready because I was waiting for her. So I was like, I will go to the priest. I'm like, what did Our Lady say? And the priest, he couldn't believe that children, young people, are actually coming to him to ask. So he used to go to Kibeho. He would tape the apparition, bring them to a village, and then I would sit for hours and listen to the apparitions. So my heart was in it. So now when I write about Our Lady of Kibeho, I feel like it is a passion and love. It is still as if I just heard the news like yesterday. It's really in my heart. It never left, that passion and that love. Anyway, she appeared to high school, and the first visionary, her name is Alphonsine, and then she was about 14 years old, I think, and then, 14, 15 years old. So she was persecuted because Mary came to her. What else? Mary told her she was a mother of the word, W-O-R-D. The word became flesh and lived with God and came to live among us. Word. She's the mother of the word. And she was just a young girl. She was having lunch with her friends. And then all of a sudden she went on her knees and she put her hands up and started to speak to this beautiful woman, she said. So she begged Our Lady, please appear to somebody else also. Because Our Lady started to come many times. Please appear to somebody else so that people will believe me. Because Our Lady told her, the message I'm going to give you, it does not concern only Rwanda, not even just Africa, but the whole world. So the girl was like, but mother, they don't believe me. So she begged, appear to somebody else, please. So Mary appeared to a second person. Her name is Natalie, who was in the same school. Both of them were persecuted. They also asked Our Lady, please appear to somebody else. Our Lady appeared to a third person who was Marie Claire, who actually was the one who taught us the Seven Sorrows Rosary. So then slowly Our Lady started to appear to more people. The whole country knew about this. Everybody knew. So few words, is the things I hold in my heart about Our Lady. Few things. Our Lady came from, before she was appearing in school, inside, but people started to come to Kibeho, and then she told the children she can go outside, so to appear to them in an open place. 60,000 will come to see the apparition, and they will not see her, but they see the kid looking up, speaking to Our Lady. And these apparitions were lasting like 3 hours, 4 hours. One time it lasted 8 hours. And many people from Europe, they said, Our Lady doesn't appear this long. It cannot be Our Lady. And many people in Rwanda said, no, if she says she's our mother and she's staying this long, it means she must be Our Lady. Because that's exactly what mothers do in Rwanda, in our culture. When a mother visits a child, you go to teach them to clean, you go to teach them to cook, you go to investigate, to make sure that they're doing a good job, to raise up their children. So mothers don't come just like to sit high and go. They come to teach. And that's what Our Lady did. So 4 hours, 8 hours, that's normal. That's how a mother visits. And we were so happy to know that Our Lady actually respects our culture. And that's why I wish everyone can know heaven through Our Lady. When I come to Mexico City, to Our Lady of Guadalupe, and I see how she came looking like Aztecs, the Indians. I'm like, this is exactly who Our Lady is. God creates everybody. God is a father for everyone. God doesn't make a mistake. Nobody said, I want to be born Indian, I want to be born black or white or this, and I want to be born in this country. God gives it. The parents might help to decide, but God gives it. God does not make a mistake. He created us for his purpose. So when Our Lady comes to visit in a place, she comes with that image of the people and the culture. To this day, a friend of mine who is a visionary, this morning, she told me, Our Lady, she speaks a very good Kinyarwanda, our native language. She says she doesn't mix with borrowed words like English words or French words. No, it's pure Kinyarwanda. And her words are very proper. I'm like, oh, how beautiful that is. Very proper Kinyarwanda. Another thing I love about Our Lady from Kibeho is her love. It's from everywhere, really. Her love. She would come and ask them, how is your mom? How is your dad? How is grandma? Did you go to help your grandma to clean for her, for the house, to help her the house? She was a mom who is teaching us. So there is so many good things about Mary. But I love her kindness. I love the way the visionary described when they are beside her. They said, you want nothing more when you see Our Lady. Everything is perfect. She's beautiful, of course, beyond words. But even around, everything around her is love, is peace, security. So they can't take it when they're not with her. They get depressed when she said bye. And then I've asked them, like, so why is it that we don't feel that way? We know we love her. But the visionaries told me, if you love Our Lady close, really, really, she will let you know who she is for you. And you will start missing her too. And you will start feeling that way. And I'm like, oh. So I think about that. I'm like, I wish I can see her. But she's beautiful. Another thing, especially I want to tell people, please, if you love Our Lady, read her messages and follow. Because she doesn't just come to say, oh, good, but she comes to teach and to guide. In Rwanda, she told us about the genocide. And she said, if you follow what I'm saying, if you can come back to God, love one another, forgive one another, read the Bible, say the rosary, in prayer groups, in family, what is coming will not happen. So she tried to protect us from the genocide against Tutsis that took 1 million people in a period of 3 months. 1 million people. We are counting 1 million maybe killed by coronavirus around the world. In Rwanda, a tiny country you can go through you can cross Rwanda in 4-5 hours by driving. 1 million people were killed by machete and a gun in a period of 3 months. But Our Lady tried to protect us. And to this day, people are sad. Suffering is really by the grace of God. I am here. I can talk to you. I can smile. It is really by the grace of God. Otherwise, the pain we went through is not something that you can put in words, or you can even really, it's horrible. I can talk about Our Lady forever. I love her.
Yeah. So, and right now, well, New York is living a tough situation also. Back in October, we had a similar situation here in Chile. And there's a lot of violence going on in the world, plus the coronavirus. Do you have a message for us that, living what we are living worldwide and violence, and how can we help our neighbors from a distance, but also help ourselves inside our homes?
Oh, thank you. I think, what is going on is terrible. What happened to that man, as you saw, it was really horrible. Oh my gosh, and it's scary, because you're like, ooh, the world is this bad, it can do this. But I have gone through this again, like I have seen it, and have seen the damages of hatred and of all evil. It can really be bad. Again, like I lived through the genocide in Rwanda. But what can I tell people? I am here now. I watch as you are watching. And like I said, I'm scared. I'm working. Yesterday, I went to work outside with my kids on the street. I seem paranoid. I'm looking by the side to make sure that there's nobody who can do wrong to you. And I'm watching, it's sad because it's affecting all of us. Suffering is a part of life because there is evil in the world. But however, how can you help as a person? First of all, to protect your own heart from falling into evil. To remind ourselves, as I was saying, God doesn't make a mistake. God creates everybody. Tribes, races, tribes into under tribes, everybody. That for sure, to know that we are all the children of God. At least to remind yourself that. Speak to your family as you are home, to your friends. Be the voice of love when you speak. Be the voice of truth and not confusion. Be the voice of God, of Our Lady, of Jesus in your own family, to speak to people about what is right, how you think about that. We speak about this, and I'm like, as I'm talking to you, I want to give my family what I think about everything, but also to remind people, never be that person who is hurting, who is killing another person, no matter who is the person. People are sacred. They belong to God. Never be that person also who say, look at you, crucify him. One of the things I always ask myself in my Christianity, in my Catholicism, anytime I say the rosary, especially the sorrowful mystery, and I'm meditating on that, I think, if I lived in the time of Jesus, who will I become? Will I be Veronica, who give him water? Or will I become one of the 99% or 95% who said, crucify him? And it kills me. It have always bothered me. Where will I stand? And I want to stand. I want to believe that I will be Veronica. I want to believe that I will be the voice of truth, of compassion, of love. Even if I will not be sure 100% who was, but can I just be the loving person? Can I stand there and have compassion and not crucify or judge somebody if I don't know everything about them, like maybe about the action? So the same thing here now. Each one of us, have to ask ourselves, who am I in this whole turmoil of violence? Am I Veronica? Am I the people who say crucify him? Am I one of the soldiers who will kill him, put a knife in his heart? Or am I the ones, Saint John, who was beside? Our Lady, who had compassion, So Magdalene, who the people who loved him, the disciples who loved him, even if they have to run away. So I just hope that people can be the voice of love. One thing you can do, and I have spoken to people from different classes, I never know, because I got to speak to 10 people, and I got to speak to 25,000 people. I got to speak in Brazil, and I come to Washington, D.C., to senators, and then to elementary school. So what I have realized too, that is that everybody have a different mission God put in their hearts and different capacity of what they can do. And if each one of us just do our job in love, in truth, in kindness, we have done our part. The world will be a good place. Among you, some of you are journalists. Among you, you are just a mother, grandma, grandpa. And again, you can speak to your children and be that voice of love. Among you, some people are politicians, maybe. People who can actually change the law and make things better for people. And all I wish for everyone, whoever you are, what you do, God will use you. Be the voice of love, be the voice of compassion, be the voice of truth. Another thing we can all do, pray, because prayer can move mountains. I have seen that happening. And again, in my prayer group, we pray the rosary every day, the whole rosary. We pray the 7 Sorrows rosary, and I have seen miracles happening. I have seen people's hearts changing, thinking before, So our prayers are doing something, and do not undermine the power of prayer. We fast. Most people in my prayer group, they fast every Wednesday and Fridays, like Our Lady said in Medjugorje. So fasting is powerful. This is the words of Our Lady, she said in Medjugorje, and in Kibeho too. She said, the one who prays is not afraid of the future. And the one who fasts is not afraid of evil. So I'm trying to have my family stand strong in faith, in obedience to God. And whatever happened, what's going on, we open our eyes. The Holy Spirit will tell, maybe when you need to take action. But again, who you are, I don't know. If each one have our capacity and our role we can maybe play. As long as we have love, then God will use us. One time I met President Bush, who was a president in this country, in the US. Again, in my mind, I feel everybody is the same, because everyone is children of God, truly, and we are actually. So, and sometimes not working in politicians or any group of people, I meet everyone and I need to give them my love and my respect. But when I met this man, first I realized what he had over his shoulders, to carry the whole country, on his shoulders as a president. I remember he told me, your book have allowed me to make different good decisions about Sudan. Sudan that was having a genocide in Darfur. So a president was like, wow, a president can do a lot. And that's true. So that really what made me realize that everybody has a way to do. If you are kind, loving, voice it, but use what God have given you to do good.
Right. So Immaculèe, I would be very happy to keep talking to you the entire day, but I know you're a busy woman. So thank you so much for having the time for us. There's people that I know that are listening to you from Spain, from Mexico, from Chile, and and so
and some people from my Instagram actually live, they are listening from all the world, from Rwanda, from Brussels, Belgium, Europe. So
wow.
Yeah.
So I really personally, I really want to encourage people to read Immaculèe's books. I have 2 of them right here with me. The third one I have lended to my best friend, and she's reading it right now. But if you can tell us a little bit about your books, and I know they're life-changing, so
Thank you. Well, I love each book. It's almost like I feel like I had to write them. The first one, Left to Tell, was actually the story of my living through the genocide. And the second one, Led by Faith, is about the second 10 years. Because when you survive something like what I did, life doesn't come back just like that quickly. So I had to work through the pain and learn to live anew without your mom, without dad, without brothers, grandma, grandpa, because everyone was killed during that time. So it was a new life. I had to completely start over. So 10 years, I saw the country changing, and I wrote it in Led by Faith. And then I wanted to write about Our Lady of Kibeho, which was my first love. And my publisher said, no, wait until you can write about that later. So it was my third book, Our Lady of Kibeho, just to tell people how Mary loves you so much as a mother. And she loves the rosary. And she said, if you pray the rosary from your heart, she will show you that she is with you. She will show you a miracle. And I really have seen miracles through this rosary. And I just want to encourage people, Google it, find a prayer group, pray with somebody. And I also, another rosary she taught in Kibeho, which is 7 Sorrows Rosary. It has 7 Hail Marys, is also another prayer that I have seen miracles through this rosary. I just want people to encourage you, hold on to Our Lady and know that she sees you. And if you don't feel her love, ask her in your heart, are you there? Can you hear me? Can you show me a little sign that you're my mother? She will give it to you. Another book I wrote is A Boy Who Met Jesus. Was one of the visionary in Rwanda, in Kibeho. And it was a young boy, who had an apparition of Jesus. I love that book. To see a pagan boy who never knew anything about God, the questions he asked Jesus, it was so cute, so beautiful. And he would ask questions like, so you told me I should love you above all things, because he's God. And then he said, but how? Because how can you ask me that? Because I made my parents since I was born. They fed me, they grew me up. But we just met recently. And Jesus said, oh, my child, I am the one who gave you the parents to be my angel, to grow you up. The boy was like, oh, okay. So it was so beautiful to see how he can ask innocent questions, but powerful questions about our faith. My last book, which I wrote 9, but my last book is called The Rosary. And you can get them on my website, you can get them on Amazon, but The Rosary was one book I was telling God, everything in my life I ever went through, and I can say I survived. It was not because I'm strong. It was not because I am, like some people say, like, wow, you are so strong. I'm like, no, really, I don't think I'm that strong. It was truly through this prayer of the Rosary. And I needed to write that book, The Rosary, to tell people how I prayed, how I meditated on that, so that people can know the power of that Rosary. I have seen so many miracles. However, today, just like you, every day is new. I still have to do my rosaries too. You just don't write about it and you are done. I need to do my rosary daily, and every day I have a chance to work for heaven. And I hope that everyone does the same. And when we wake up, when we have another day, it is a new chance to be good and to reconcile with God.
Right. Well, I hope, I wish I could join your group on Zoom and pray the rosary with you.
I will send you the code. It is in English, but I will send you the code.
Oh, thank you. So Immaculèe, thank you so much for this. It's been wonderful, and I hope we can do this again and again, so more people know about you and your story and your testimony in Our Lady of Kibeho. And we will pray for New York.
Please
we
do.
will pray for Chile. We will pray for the world. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So nice to see you, Rosanna, and everyone. I love Chile. I love it. I love the big statue of Our Lady. I can't wait to come to see you again.
We
you.
will for you.
Immaculèe,
Yes.
for this conversation with you. I maybe I see you in other country or another in Chile next years, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Good. Thank you so much.
I talking with you in other moment.
What did you say?
She's saying that she hopes she can talk to you in another moment.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Sure. Yes, let's do that.
Thank you very much. Gracias a todos por esta participación, de estar con Immaculèe, que nos ha ayudado muchísimo, sobre todo por estos momentos que todos estamos viviendo, en nuestro país, en todos. Y creo que vale la pena escuchar estas cosas de fundamentar mucho lo que es la fe, saber la fe de Immaculèe hasta el día de hoy. Creo que eso ayuda mucho primero a rezar el rosario o a hacer cosas que realmente motiven a los demás para acercarse a Dios. Bueno, nos veremos en otro momento. Gracias por todo. Goodbye. Goodbye, Immaculèe.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.